Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about grandparents and grandparents taking guardianship or getting guardianship over their grandchildren. So we have been getting a lot of calls from grandparents who are trying to become the decision makers for their grandchildren because their own children, the parents to their grandchildren, are suffering from various behavioral health issues, substance use, mental illness, all these crazy things that basically render them unable to take care of their own children. And the grandparents have stepped up to the plate after raising their own children. Now they're having to raise their grandchildren. And they say, look, we need some authority here. We can't go into family court because in Florida, as grandparents, we have no rights. But we've read that we could file for guardianship over our grandchildren, right? And become the decision makers, not necessarily become the new parent, but become the decision makers. And so, yeah, I mean, the answer to that is yes, you can, you could file for guardianship over your grandchildren. And this is something to, I think, really to consider, you could also petition the court for either guardianship or you could file a Marchman Act over your own children. So think about this. This is sort of a universal plan to really get control. So you've got your own children, right? You've got adult children and they're out of control with a behavioral health issue. You can use the Marchman Act and guardianship process to get them into treatment and keep them there long enough. You could also file for a guardianship over your own grandchildren if you're the grandparents, so that you now have the ability, the authority to make decisions for them while their parents are in treatment, hopefully starting to work on their recovery. Now, what is sort of the downside if you don't do any of this, if the grandparents don't step up to the plate? Well, then, unfortunately, what's probably going to happen is the state is going to step in. The next thing you know, a DCF investigator, an investigator from the Department of Children and Family Services, which is an agent of the state of Florida, is going to come banging on your door and say, hey, we've had a complaint from somebody that these children are not being taken care of. They're being neglected by their parents, and we're here to investigate. And if we find out that the children have not been taken care of, well, then we're going to ask a judge to give us the authority to take those children away. And we'll either place them in foster care or some type of home or some type of situation where the parents are out of the picture. So think about this. The state is going to step in and take care of these children. I mean, really? I mean, you've probably seen at this point some of my other videos about my thoughts on how the state does an absolutely crappy job of taking care of people, especially in the mental health system. So through the Baker Act process. So do we really want the state stepping in to take care or give somebody else the authority to take care of your grandchildren? Absolutely not. And so if you are grandparents out there and you're dealing with the unfortunate situation where you have grandchildren who really need your help because their own parents are so messed up and unable to take care of them and be a good parent, then yeah, I think we need to talk about possibly filing for guardianship and also potentially filing for guardianship and or Marchman Act over the parents, the adult child here, so we can get them into treatment. Because if you're like any of the other grandparents that we've spoken to, and we've spoken to a lot of them, just recently, they want to be able to make decisions, but they're getting older and they never planned to step in and become, the pseudo parents of their grandchildren. But while their own child is in recovery, in treatment, dealing with their issues and hopefully experiencing the miracle of recovery, they need to be able to make decisions, because we don't want the state stepping in, because we know what a lousy, crappy, horrible job the state does of taking care, frankly, of anybody, especially little children. So I want to put that out to you. If you want more information about how we're helping grandparents, we'd love to chat with you. And if you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. I'd love a subscription to the channel. And if you have more questions, post them, call our office. We're here to help. With that said, take care. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.